October 26th, Winnipeg heads to the polls to elect its new mayor. 11 candidates will be on the ballot with a vision of how they will lead Winnipeg for next 5 years. 8 candidates have accepted our invitation to convey their plans and promises. My name is Zuher Almusre and this is Civic Platform. Idris Adelakun is a professional engineer, project manager, and transformational leader. He has over 9 years of experience in Canadian businesses organization.
Thank you for having me. My name is Idris Adelakun, and I'm running for mayor of Winnipeg. The reason why I'm running for mayor of Winnipeg is because I want a city that works for everyone. But before I dive into that, let me quickly tell you a bit about myself. I'm a professional engineer in the province of Manitoba. I'm a certified project manager. I'm also a certified professional in engineering management. And I completed a PhD in leadership. I've been managing teams, I've been managing projects, and I strongly believe that my skills can be used to move our city to an enviable height. So in terms of my platform, I'm focusing on 4 key areas. The first one is social issues. I want to make sure that we address homelessness, addictions, and mental health. And we also need to boost safety as well. And the second point is business. There is a need for us to create more opportunities in our city. And we need to also make sure that we bring more investors. We allow more people to start doing business, but we have to make sure that we make life easy for them. By the time we start generating more revenue for the city, the plan is to make sure that we lower taxes with time. And I'm going to start with the seniors. I'm going to dive in a bit into that. The third one is infrastructure. We all know the current state of our city. In terms of infrastructure, there's a need to boost infrastructure in our city. And the fourth one is environment. So I want to make sure that we figure out how to stop dumping sewage into our rivers and embrace clean energy as well. Let me quickly just recap on all those points that I've already mentioned. Because one of the things is, why should you vote for Idris? You can also check most of these things from my platform. I want to collaborate with non-profit organizations to address and prevent homelessness, addictions, and mental health by providing multifaceted 800 housing units. And the plan includes converting unused older housing units, lower value spaces, and building low barrier housing units on city land. What is going to happen in fall? That's the question for me, because this 800 housing unit will not be available as soon as possible. So my plan is to provide funding for the expansion of 24-hour safe spaces. And another thing I want to do is to make sure that I support builders to provide at least 200 affordable housing units yearly. Another plan I have, which is to support the student as well as the senior, is called the home sharing strategy, whereby students, they can pair with elderly residents at a low cost. And that will enable them to be able to save money. What is going to happen is they will just pay around $200 to $400 every month, but they have to support the senior for at least 6 hours, in a week. And there is going to be benefit for the senior and the benefit for the student as well. We want to build communities together. Another thing I want to do is to, in terms of business, to make life easy for business owners, is to review regulations, permit a use of inclusionary zoning as well. Another thing I want to do is to make sure that we implement priority-based budgeting approach instead of traditional increment approach we typically have right now. And the reason why I'm trying to do that is just because right now, when you look at the kind of a project we do, we do it every year. Maybe there is no need for us to do the project every year. Then we can save the money and allocate that resources to other projects as well. And I also want to make sure that we boost safety in terms of transit. I have a plan for that one too. Anyone can check my platform, idrisformio.com as well. In terms of that business too, part of my plan is to collaborate with credit unions to give loans to innovative projects, to improve and sustain our community as well. Another thing that I've already mentioned is to make sure we reduce the municipal property taxes by 5% for seniors 65 and older with time. It's not going to be now, but it's with time. So that's a long-term goal for me. I need to collaborate as well, with the province. I know there are some things that I can't do, from my own perspective, but there's a need to collaborate. So I want to waive a land transfer fee for first-time owners. That will save them approximately $5,000. We want to make sure that we make life easy for Winnipeggers. In fact, in terms of construction, another thing I want to mention is that anytime we have a new construction, we have to incorporate active, transportation, maybe such as bike lanes and cyclists as well. We want people to be in a city rather than just, be driving cars all the time. We also want to make sure that we reduce CO2 emission as well. So, but most of my plans, the plan is to collaborate with a social enterprise to provide training and opportunity for our indigenous community as well. So I want to make sure that we support everyone. You can see that the high level of what I'm trying to say is just to incorporate everything from, social issues, mental health, addictions, homelessness, business. You can see in terms of environment and in terms of infrastructure. So I'm just trying to make sure that I summarize everything and everyone can understand that. So my plan is to make sure that we make life more meaningful for everyone in the city, because there's a need to collaborate, because right now we don't have to continue to divide. We need to figure out how we can unite together as a team and move our city forward. We have to collaborate with the federal, we have to collaborate with the province and make sure that we work together as a team in order to move our city to an end goal. One thing I want to talk about, I can say briefly about crime, because I know I didn't have more time to talk about crime. So one thing I want to do is to make sure that we also prevent crime from happening. We don't have to wait until it starts. When I was reading through some, document, I found out that at present, demand surpasses resources for the police service. So there is a need for us to support our police officers to do their job effectively. And when I was going through the Winnipeg Police Board, meeting, I was able to review that the police received 26% more life-threatening calls in 2022 alone when you compare to 2021. So one of the things I'm trying to do is to collaborate, because you don't have the power to, administer what is happening with the Winnipeg Police Board. But my plan is to be part of the board, as mayor. When I become the mayor, it's just to share my own views, my own ideas. We can collaborate together to make sure that we move our city forward. So my plan is to have more stakeholders in that particular board so that we can support one another. And another thing I want to do is to also make sure that we seek federal funding for our youth crime prevention programs, and we can have some kind of free sport, we can engage them. And as we are doing that, there is a need for us to also address all those underlying issues as well, such as homelessness, addictions, and mental health, because I believe they are tied together. Even though if you want to have a better city and you don't improve on safety, you spend a lot of money, people will not come there. So there is a need for us to make sure that we, address all those things that are more important. I'll be honest with you, there's a need for us to support families as well. I know there are some stuff that is outside, the city, but there's a need for us to work together with the province. We need to provide affordable housing and create more opportunities as well, in our city. I know that people have been complaining about transit as well. So I also have a plan for transit, just to make sure that it is safe when people are trying to board the bus as well, even for the passengers. So I have a solid plan on that one to bus safety in the bus. But there's a need for us to make sure that we engage our police with more challenging tasks rather than, there are some activities that are meant for maybe social services, so we can try to make sure that we reallocate resources. Another thing I want to do is to make sure that we also involve all the stakeholders like cadets, transit supervisors. We have to work together as a team to address all those safety issues too. For the operators, my plan is to make sure that we also extend the shield around the bus operator's seat as well. So that's part of my plan. And increase the number of transit supervisors, auxiliary force cadet in areas prone to assault and violence as well. So from my own perspective, I believe that if we are able to put all these plans together, it will help.
Head to winnipeg.ca for further details on candidates and voting information. This is Zuher Almusre, and this is Civic Platform. Thank you for watching.